So at the end of my 10th grade year, summer began and I was at my cousin's all the time. And if I wasn't at my cousin's, then I was at her best friend's house. And her best friend lived right next to like a little outlet strip mall thing. And there were some girls that she knew that worked at a tanning salon in this little outlet strip mall. And we would hang out at this tanning salon all the time. And a lot of girls. And I loved all those girls. I still love all those girls. They're really good girls. And it was a lot of fun. It was a fun time in my life. And also with my cousin, at the end of the summer, we talked to some of these boys that were friends with her brother. And they were talking about how you can get this type of cold medicine and trip. And honestly, at this time of my life, I am wanting to get high off of anything and everything. At one point, my cousin stayed the night and we were huffing gas out of the car, like out of the gas tank of the car, and just to get high. Oh my gosh, I would not recommend it. I think that it probably dumbs you down a whole lot. But I was just into getting high. I don't know. It was like I didn't like my life anymore. It's like I always felt like my life was going to go somewhere until like this time of my life. I thought, the best I can do is try to find a really good man that will take me in so that I can have babies, and hopefully I can have babies. I still would pray for a daughter if I would pray. I hardly ever would pray. If I would pray, it was to pray at this time of my life, it was to pray for others and their health and their well-being, or I would pray for a daughter and pray that I was able to be able to carry a daughter. And I was also looking for a man. I wasn't very hopeful in life, but I wanted to escape reality. And I would do that with drugs. And we heard about how you could take this cold medicine. It comes in a pack of pills. You can't even get it anymore. And you take the whole pack of pills and you are tripping. And so my cousin and I decided to go. We convinced her big brother to drop us off at Walmart. We went into Walmart and we pretty much stole every single one that they had. And then we went to her friend's house, who wasn't very far from that Walmart. And we told her friend about it, and we invited some other people over, and a bunch of girls took the pills, and then some boys came over and we told them about it, and so they went and got some from a whole different Walmart, I guess. And yeah, so we were all tripping on pills, and I don't know, it was a crazy night. It was the first night that I met one of my really good girlfriends, and immediately me and her were talking, and she was telling me about how she just lost her virginity, and I was like, wow. And we were tripping these pills. I was like, well, we've already taken these pills. I'm about to be really tripping, so... And so she took them too, and yeah, it was really crazy. And then my dad calls, and my dad's like, baby girl, I really want you to come see me for the summer. I thought that, you wanted to be a part of my life, and da 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 da. And so I was like, yeah, you're right. So I needed to go see my dad for the summer. And so I went to my dad's for the summer. And of course, my sister's there with the twins. And you know what? The thing about the twins, like, I hardly ever saw them. Yes, I got to watch them a lot, but I really didn't watch them that much. My other sister, my stepsister, who I hadn't seen in years, she really watched the twins most of the time and raised the twins. But yeah, here at my dad's now getting back together with my stepmom, my stepsister's mom. But my stepsister is never really over there. My stepmom will be over at my dad's, but my stepsister really isn't. She's getting older and she has her own life. But yeah, my big sister was at my dad's, and I told her about these pills, and she's like, oh my gosh, well, let's go get them. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And so we went and got these pills, and we took them, and it takes a while before it kicks in. You don't think that it's going to kick in. It's about the time that you're like, well, this ain't going to work, and then it kicks in. But yeah, so my sister was thinking, oh, that's nothing. And my dad was like, hey, I'm going to go to the store. Anybody want to go with me? And so my sister was like, I'll go with you. And I was like, no, you're about to be tripping. She's like, oh, it'll be fine. And yeah, she goes with him, and I don't know what she does while she's gone with him. I start tripping while they're gone, and I'm just having fun, enjoying life, you know? And then they come back, and there's steps up to the front door of the trailer, and she cannot figure out how to go up the steps. And I'm at the top of the steps trying to encourage her to go up because I can't figure out how to go down the steps. And my dad's watching us, and he's like, "What are y'all on? Like, what is going on?" We never told him. We told him years later, but we didn't ever tell him then. So it was crazy. And yeah, so my sister and I, we would go and get these pills quite often. It's like, hey, let's go trip, you know? And so we would go get these pills and be tripping. And like I said, my 10th grade year, I was blonde, you know, because blondes have more fun, I guess. But yeah, I was blonde my 10th grade year. And so now I'm wanting to go back to my natural hair and let it grow out. Like, that's how I do. I dye my hair and then I want it to go back natural. And before I go natural, I'm like, you know, let's do a wild color. And back then, you couldn't get like purples or blues or pinks or anything like that. So I just went and got, you know, the most wild colors that I could think of in the box. And I brought it back and we took the pills. And while we were tripping, I'm like, let's do my hair. And my sister's like, what? I'm like tripping. I'm like, it's fine. We'll do fine. And she did my hair. And it was like, they described it as like striped leopard spots. It was a very crazy hairdo, but I rocked it all summer long. This girl didn't care, and yeah, I didn't mind. Another thing that is horrible, awful about me was, oh goodness, I wanted the attention of boys. I wanted the attention of boys so bad. I loved to dance, and I wanted to show off for the boys, and I didn't know how to get them to come over. And so I thought that if I would offer them my dad's beer, they would come over. And so, like, a lot of times I would sneak my dad's beer away and I would offer it to these boys to come over and hang out. And they would hang out until about the time my dad's going to come home, and I'd be like, y'all gotta leave. And then he would say that I drank it all, and I'd be like, yep, I'm an alcoholic. I wasn't drinking it, but I was trying to get the boys to come over. And they would come over, drink, play dominoes, and never do anything, you know, so nothing bad. But yeah, so there was that. And then, oh my gosh, my dad and my stepmom were getting back together, and at this time in my stepmother's life, and I think in my dad's life too, I think that they're doing more hardcore drugs than not. And my stepmom just got to where she hated me, and she was convinced that I was doing things that I was not doing, and I think that she was doing them to set me up because she did not like me. I don't know if that's the truth, but I don't know. But I do know that she would do things like, I know one time, because, you know, I always would be playing the music and dancing. I loved that. And she took the boombox and pow, destroyed it in front of me and was like, I'm telling your dad that you did that. And she did. And I got in trouble. I did. And another time I had this really big, nice, pretty prom dress, and she just cut it into pieces in the closet. And I'm just like, okay. Or at least I think that was her. I don't know who else it would have been. And another time, you know, her and my dad still tells the story about how I would throw dishes out because I didn't want to do them. I didn't mind doing the dishes. In fact, doing the dishes is a zen for me, and still to this day, since my whole entire time I've been married and been a mom, dishes is the one thing that I will do. I've never minded doing the dishes. It's just, you know, if I'm in an angry mood, I might be angry about it, but it's not I'm angry about doing the dishes. I'm just angry about what I'm angry about, and the dishes, there's been times that that's happened. But yeah, I was not throwing out the dishes. And sometimes I think that my stepmom was, just to like frame me. And this reminds me of another story at my dad's. Because before my dad got with my stepmom, he was dating all kinds of women. And he dated one woman who was gorgeous, but she was like, no, I'm not staying with you, and moved on quickly. But she gave me a lot of tips about Kegels and, exercising and how to attract boys, and I liked her. But yeah, he had this one chick who she was just insane, insane, and she didn't like me or my sister. And me and my sister, I was like addicted to Dr. Peppers. There was a little bitty rinky-dink store just right down the road, and so I would walk to this store and get Dr. Peppers like every day. I would get Dr. Peppers and cigarettes. He would sell me cigarettes. He's dead now, so. But anyway, he would sell me cigarettes. My dad was like, "Don't sell her cigarettes," but he would. And I would always get Dr. Pepper. And this lady was convinced that my sister would get Dr. Pepper too. Not always, but she would usually get Dr. Pepper or Coke. And we both had a Dr. Pepper this day. And this lady was convinced that we were drinking alcohol. And she like took it and she was like, "This is alcohol." And like took a drink, and then me and my sister were like, "We don't want it now. If it's alcohol, you can have it," because she was drinking all the time. And this lady went so crazy. So crazy. And her and dad ended up getting into this big, huge fight in the trailer and like barking at each other. And then she said that my dad was a pedophile and touching my sisters whenever they were in the bath. And he was just like, "That's it." And he like took her and threw her out. And my sister helped because the lady didn't want to go. My sister was like, "Oh no, you gotta go now." And yeah, if anybody accused my dad of being a pedophile, me and all my sisters would stand up and say, I don't think so, because he was not. And if he was, we probably would say something, but he was not a pedophile. One thing for sure, he was not a pedophile. That's for sure. And also, I began to drive my dad crazy, and me and my dad, we would get into some fights and stuff, especially whenever I was sleeping with boys. Once I lost my virginity, my power virginity, taking my virginity back by losing it. And that boy that would come over, yeah, my dad got so angry at me. So angry. He picked me up by my throat, and that was a scary day. He picked me up and had me up against the wall and was looking in my eyes. Oh gosh, it was a scary day for me. I was like, what are we gonna do? I don't know, because I'm not gonna quit being me. I don't know, it was crazy. But yeah, he dropped me and walked off, and he came back later. He said he regrets it and he just wants the best for me. And it's not easy being a parent, especially with me as a child. So yeah, I go back to start my 11th grade year with my mother in this small little town. And at this time, she is breaking up with my brother's dad. They're not getting along anymore. She's just not. And my aunt, though, my cousin's mom, is getting married to a guy and moving into the little rinky-dink town. And so for the first time in our lives, me and my cousin are going to be living in the same town, and we're so excited. I'm so excited about that. You guys, I loved my cousin. Maybe I talk bad about her, she comes off bad and this stuff, but the girl was beautiful. She was beautiful, she was gorgeous, and I loved that she loved me and that she gave me a chance. She was a really cool person, and I loved her, and I would talk to her on the phone so much. I would talk to her on the phone. And I loved our conversations that we had. I would talk to her on the phone all the time because my dad had his work cell phone, so I would call her nonstop all the time. We'd always be telling each other about our lives and about how things are going to go. And also, whenever we were at our mom's and my aunt's, we would always be trying to hang out, but they didn't want us to because we would get into trouble, obviously. And I would throw such a big fit because my mom wouldn't let me go see my cousin, It's because I loved her so much and I just wanted to hang out with her. I felt so cool hanging out with her. Oh, goodness. I thank you guys so much for being here today, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And be blessed with love. Thank you so much for watching my testimony. I appreciate all of you. I just want to put a disclaimer here at the end. This testimony is based off my memories and how I remember it, and memories can get convoluted, distorted. So maybe not all the details are factual, and it's not a completely factual story, but it's still my story and my truth. And I really appreciate all of you for watching. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching my story. That's all she got.